Yes.
Okay, so we're ready to serve and enjoy.
Nice. So whilst you're serving that, and me and Kalila will be going to have a taste.
Oh, yes.
And Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Salaam Britain. Now, it's the best time of the day, which means it's time to eat and taste food. And today we have the beautiful Chef Petrina.
Yes, we had Chef Petrina last week with her healthy recipe, and for everyone who doesn't know her, she is a self-taught chef. Oh, I love to hear that. Who loves experimenting and improving cuisine to make it healthier. So about 10 years ago, she qualified as a salad master, cookware presenter, and has presented and cooked in various households in the UK.
Yes.
Amazing.
Now that is just the tip of the iceberg, because she is also an Amazon #1 best-selling author of 2 books, Whole Truth or Half Truth and The Diabetes Solution. The latter book includes some of her very unique recipes, and we cannot wait to dive into what Chef Petrina is doing for us. Good afternoon or good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me back.
No, it's such a pleasure. Now, I haven't met you before, Chef Petrina.
I haven't either.
And I'm so excited because you have told us what you're cooking, but I'll leave it to you to let the viewers know what you'll be cooking today.
Okay, so today I'll be cooking, most of you would have heard of cauliflower, and there's various ways we use cauliflower. They've made cauliflower rice, but I searched and not many people actually make broccoli and cauliflower rice. So I've named this recipe Broccoliflower Rice.
Amazing. I get it. Broccoliflower rice.
The play on words is on
You
point.
need to trademark that, Petrina.
Yes.
I will.
Copyright.
Yeah, so as the recipe goes, the name of the recipe, it's made of broccoli. I've got florets of broccoli here. Over here, broccoli. There are, when I was asked about the recipe, it's roughly about 8 of these broccoli florets, and then about 8 of these size cauliflower florets as well. We're going to chop it up really fine, and then obviously we will also use other things. Now with the cauliflower, a lot of people, they tend to throw this part away. Cauliflower comes like that, and it's got the leaves as well. I'm actually also going to use it as well, so that there's no food wastage.
Amazing.
And it's all rich in fiber, lots of vitamins as well. So the more of the vegetable you use, the better it is for you as well.
Yeah. Now I have a confession, Petrina. I used to do cauliflower rice, and I had such a hard time cooking it. It either came out too soggy, or it just didn't come out in the way that it should have come out. So I'm hoping that along the way you can share some tips
We're gonna learn it today.
that will give us the perfect consistency when it comes to broccoliflower rice.
Okay, so with the broccoli and the cauliflower, basically what you need to do is you can either use a blender and blend it. I actually haven't used a blender. I've actually cut it really fine like this. So I'm going to actually show you as well how I'm going to cut the rest. So it should be at least a bit fine like this as well.
Okay.
And that's how you actually get the consistency. And the trick is, if you like not to have too soggy food, the trick is actually not to overcook it. I don't like overcooking the vegetables, because when you overcook it on high heat or too long, it actually loses all the nutrients and vitamins. And this is really what you want to actually be keeping in your food, so that you can remain healthy for longer.
Definitely.
Amazing.
So you mentioned fibre. Can we tell our viewers at home why it's important to have fibre as part of our diet?
Well, fiber is mainly because when we eat, we obviously need to eat input from the mouth onwards and chew it, and also it needs to come out from our body, and that's where actually all the waste comes out as well. And many people around the world, they are constipated. You may be very slim. We've come across many people either slightly overweight or slim. They have constipation. Constipation is basically if you don't go to the toilet at least once or twice a day. If you're eating at least 2 or 3 meals, then you should be going to the toilet comfortably once or twice a day.
Okay, got it.
Amazing. So take it over, Chef Petrina.
Okay, so I'm just going to cut the harder part first. This is the leaf of the cauliflower itself, the stem. So just slice it like that. Small pieces. I'm just going to chop it really fine. as fine as you can, or as I said, if you want to actually use a blender, you can as well. I personally just like to chop it really fine, and that also saves cleaning up the blender, basically. So that's that. And then I'm also going to show you how the broccoli can actually be chopped as well, really fine. You can see these florets there. It's actually going to come out very finely in pieces itself. So you can see most of them, they've actually come out to very, very sort of like powdery type consistency as well. So believe that. Going to chop up the shallots. Very quickly. You can also use like red onions if you want to, but I personally like shallots. You can actually do a mixture as well. So one shallot. Shallots tends to give a sort of like a nicer flavor as well. Okay, and then I've got 2 cloves of garlic here, which I'm going to chop up as well, dice it very finely.
It would be really good to understand where your love of healthy cooking came from. Where did it all start?
Well, I'm originally from Malaysia, as you've mentioned, and in Malaysia we use a lot of herbs and spices in the cooking. It actually flavors the cooking a lot as well, and I've actually traveled around the world. I've been in the UK for about 30 years, so I've actually experienced also the European type of cooking, and I've just decided to, you know, whatever recipes that I like, either in the restaurants or friends and family have cooked, and I observe how it's been cooked, what the ingredients are, and I just like to improve it.
Yeah.
And also, I'm someone who is actually, I struggle in that sense, because when you ask me what's in the recipe, what's in the ingredients, I'm someone who actually cooks based on what ingredients there are in the kitchen, in the house. So I tend to improvise, and this is how even this recipe came about.
Amazing.
I love that, to just not waste food, to be adaptable, that you can work it out with whatever you have in your kitchen.
Yeah.
I really love that.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, you're right. I also struggle when people say, oh, you know, how do you cook that dish? I'm like, I actually don't know, because I just do what the ancestors tell me to do and stop when they tell me to stop. You know, it's all that intuitiveness, isn't it? And when you're cooking, but no, I think it's also, you know, coming from different cultures and seeing how other people cook, and, you know, taking and adapting and not allowing anything to be a barrier when it comes to learning new things, right?
New things, new cuisines is always great.
Yeah. So how many garlic cloves are you chopping?
I've just two garlic cloves. Yeah. You can add more if you want it to be more flavor-some in garlic, and garlic's actually also very, very healthy for you as well. It prevents like a lot of viruses like colds and flus.
I ask every chef this, by the way. Is there such a thing as over garlic in a dish?
No, unless obviously if you eat like, you know, maybe 3, we're talking about cloves. Cloves is actually not whole garlic, it's just one of it.
Yeah.
So unless you're eating like maybe 3, 4 whole garlics, then
great.
too much.
Okay, so
that is good to know, because I use a lot of garlic.
I like garlic too, I'm going to be
That's
honest.
fine, and you'll find that, you know, if you eat garlic every day especially, then, you know, the viruses won't actually be friends with you, basically.
Amazing.
Brilliant.
Amazing.
Yep, so we're almost done here with all the cauliflower. I'm just going to, I'm actually just cutting it very finely, and I'm just going to extra dice it to make it even more fine as well.
Brilliant.
So what do you prefer? Do you prefer to dice with your hand, or do you prefer to use a blender?
Personally, I prefer to dice it with my hands, because you're more in control. And like I said, if you're someone who doesn't like, you know, cleaning up the blender. And I find also with the blender, there's quite a lot of wastage, because it goes into the bottom of the machine.
Yeah.
And it's quite hard to actually remove it out as well.
I always find garlic is so hard to get the smell of out of the blender as well.
Yeah, unless you have maybe like a very small blender, then you can actually use that. But I've tried, and I prefer dicing it myself.
Keep with the hands, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. So what would you typically eat this dish with? Would this be your meal? Would you have some fish or something on the side? How would you normally eat this?
Well, you'll see that because of the ingredients I'm adding, you can just eat this as a meal. I'm someone who actually likes to cook like a one-pot recipe, because I know a lot of people, they don't like cooking, or they find that they can't cook, or they just don't want to spend time cooking.
Yep.
So this will be like a nutritious one-pot meal.
Perfect.
However, as we
Sounds
say,
good.
because this is cauliflower, Broccoliflower rice, then you can eat it with, other things like curries or, meats and stuff like that, or other vegetables as well.
Yeah.
Perfect.
What advice would you have for those who are finding it difficult to make the switch from rice to either cauliflower rice, broccoli rice? What are some of the tips that we can give to our viewers?
What we normally recommend is if you're struggling to introduce a certain food to your meals, then do it in stages. You don't have to cook this entire broccoliflower rice on its own and eat on its own. Cook your rice and have this as a side dish. And then you slowly get used to the ingredients.
Yeah. To the taste, the textures, everything, isn't it? I'm just sitting and appreciating your knife cutting skills, even whilst looking at the camera. That is like multitasking on an amazing level.
Yeah. And I just also want to show you on the broccoli as well. You'll have these leaves as well. I don't waste anything, so
really?
I actually include all these leaves as well.
So they go into the dish?
Yeah, they go into the dish as well. Yeah. So I'm just using you can actually use a cleaver. I'm just using a larger knife to actually just cut this a bit more finely.
Okay. So you spoke about having it being a one-pot dish. How long roughly does cooking Broccoliflower rice, how long does it usually take to cook?
Well, you'll see we'll actually cook it within less than a few minutes, 5 minutes at the most.
Okay.
Yeah. The preparation obviously takes about 5 minutes, depending on how quickly you chop these vegetables.
Yeah.
And I think, I'm just thinking for the kids, you could even mix it into their rice so they're getting more vegetables.
Yeah.
Because,
it's all about hiding things in food.
It's all about hiding things in food.
Yep, so we're almost done here. I'm also going to add some ginger.
Okay.
Oh, I love ginger. Okay. Do you like ginger?
I do. Anti-inflammatory.
Yeah. Again, with the ginger, we're someone who we like to cook it with the skin itself because that's where the nutrients is as well.
Okay.
So make sure you actually cook it with the skin or include it with the skin as well. So I'm just going to finely slice. This is like a thumb size worth of ginger. And again, if you're not someone who likes the taste of ginger, then add this into your recipe slowly.
Yeah.
And also what I find is that if you include it in very small quantities, finely diced, then you will not really notice the taste of it.
Amazing.
Okay, so we have all our ingredients basically cooked. So I'm gonna switch on the stove.
Yeah, I'd never thought about using the ginger skin.
Yeah. I never thought. So we are now showing you the ingredients on the screen.
Get your cameras out, screenshot it, and get preparing it in your kitchen.
Yeah.
Really, really healthy. So much nutritional value in here. We really do need to be introducing more of these foods into our diets.
Yeah, and I guess these are all the ingredients that you will find at home.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That majority of us would have in our fridges and
really
our cupboards.
Easy to buy.
Yeah. Yeah. They're really easy, and that's what I like about cooking.
Me too.
Easy to reach for things.
Not you have to go and source it in a specialist shop. We just want what's on the shelf at the local supermarket.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Okay, so we're just waiting for the pan to heat up slightly.
So I'm sorry, Petrina, I'm asking you loads of questions. I want to get to know you because I know that you are a wealth of healthy fountain. And so I really want to get to the bottom of it, the wealth of a healthy fountain. We mentioned Salad Master. How did you get into, being in that kind of industry?
So I'm in the health and wellness industry, and about 10 years ago, someone actually told me that you need to have a look at this cookware. Now, we were already using quite good cookware. We're not those who actually recommend things like using aluminium or non-stick.
Okay.
And we're using very expensive copper and stainless steel cookware. However, when we saw this cookware, we just had to get it because it just, you have to see the presentation and actually appreciate it, because what happens is when we cook, if we are cooking with incorrect materials like non-stick, or aluminium, the materials of the cookware actually leaches into your food as well. And this is where we have problems like dementia, Alzheimer's, and all other illnesses.
Okay.
So with this cookware, that's where it's made of titanium 316 material, which is the same material that is used for surgical operations in our body, because it doesn't actually leach into our body as such as well.
Right, and this is all the non-stick that leaches into our body, right?
Exactly.
Right, got you. How about stainless steel? Is that, I've heard that's quite good as well.
Stainless steel, we were using it as well, and we also tested, and we could actually also still taste the metal that was leaching into the food as well. Now, most of us, because we add, herbs, salt, pepper, and all that, we don't actually, and curry powder and all the other ingredients. That's why we don't actually taste the metal. But there's actually a test which they do when they present it to you, and that's when you actually taste the poison that's actually leaching into your body.
Wow.
Okay,
How
so
scary.
what are the pots you recommend again? Can we just hear that again?
The ones that we
Mental
don't
note.
recommend especially will be the non-stick and the aluminium especially. So I've just heated up a bit of the oil. Again, olive oil infused with a bit of chili by myself. I'm going to add the bay leaves in now. Just 3 bay leaves. And then in goes the herbs.
And we just have 5 minutes
Sorry, the spices.
left now. Is that going to be good for you?
Pardon?
We have 5 minutes left.
Yes.
Is that going to be good?
That's fine.
Oh,
That's fine.
right, brilliant.
We're
I can
okay.
smell it already. It smells amazing. All the spices coming in. So what are we going in with now?
So I'm just putting in all the ingredients.
Okay.
The diced cauliflower, broccoli, the onions, garlic.
Wow. I love your care. I just shove it in.
I'm just trying not to make such a mess on the kitchen. So you can see it's all being cooked quite nicely. And because it's quite fine, it will cook quite fast as well.
Okay.
Wonderful.
So I just have a question. Why olive oil and not vegetable or what's the other one, sunflower or other oils?
Again, olive oil, if you look at the Mediterranean type meals, that's where they actually cook with. And olive oil is very medicinal. With the other oils, it's actually not so good for you.
Okay. So is that on high heat, medium heat, low heat?
It's about medium heat.
Okay.
We normally cook things on medium heat.
And could this be done in like butter, coconut oil? Would you really recommend olive oil to be the best to use?
Yeah, we would recommend either coconut oil or olive oil
Okay,
to be
perfect.
the best. So I'm adding
Got it.
just things like turmeric
Turmeric, okay.
and a bit of coriander powder
I can
as
actually
well.
smell the ginger.
I
the
love
garlic.
ginger.
Yeah.
And you can see with this, I've actually not added any water. So it's basically just dry cooking, and
Oh, right, okay.
because there is a bit of moisture in the vegetables as well. So just give it a stir. I'm going to cut this capsicum up as well,
Right.
just to give it a bit more color and flavor.
Yeah.
How did you cook your cauliflower rice? Because when I've done it in the past, I've steamed it, but
Yeah, definitely not like this.
no, that's why I'm thinking maybe, because mine always went soggy too. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe this is the reason. We're learning a lot from you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so I'm just going to cut the capsicum or the pepper up finely as well. And again, you'll see that with the capsicum or pepper, there's also seeds as well, which a lot of people, they throw away, but I use it.
Oh.
Okay, I'm shocked.
Yeah, because I usually throw it away.
I throw it away too. Is it not very bitter?
No, it isn't.
Oh.
And seeds actually, seeds are actually life. So if you add the seeds into your food, then you'll actually get more basically nutrients.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And like I said, there's not going to be any wastage in the food itself.
Not at all.
Okay. So there we go.
I can see the immediate add of the pop of colour that's come
Yeah.
through. So with the yellow, could I add red? Could I add green capsicum? I call them sweet peppers, but is it just particularly the yellow one that you prefer to add?
No, I actually wanted orange, but we couldn't find it.
Okay.
Orange will actually add a better color to it as well.
Okay.
So, yeah, we're almost done.
Amazing.
Brilliant. We've got 2 minutes now.
And I've also added, I'm going to add some goji berries just to give it a bit more sweetness and flavor. And you can also add some raisins as well.
This is my kind of dish. I love the sweet and salty.
I can start to see it break down.
Almost there. And you know, I love to add actually herbs as well. So herbs to save time, I'm just going to cut it. Just cut it with a scissors and add
Are
it all
those
in.
chives?
Chives, yeah, chives. Just give it a bit of flavor. There you go. And a bit of mint as well. And some, these are like parsley. So as you can see, this is like a very good mixture of vegetarian recipe.
Wonderful.
You can enjoy.
Yes.
Okay, we have the ingredients up on the screen again for all of you who missed it earlier. So definitely grab your screenshots and get cooking this really healthy, nutritional dish.
Yes.
Okay, so we're ready to serve and enjoy.
Nice. But until next time, may Allah bring you so much peace and endless blessings in your day ahead. And Assalamu alaikum.